Council meeting. We're going to have Matt McCullum, pastor with Trinity Presbyterian Church, lead us with the invocation.
Grace and peace to you. Let us pray. We give you thanks, O Lord, for those who long ago declared that life and liberty are your gifts to all people. We pray that you would give us the courage and the will to continue that work this day, that we might strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the afflicted, and honor all persons. We pray your blessing upon our mayor and city council as they seek your wisdom and discernment. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Matt. All right, getting started this evening. Would anyone like to review the minutes of July 12th regular city council meeting and the minutes of July 12th work session? If y'all would, we just take a look at those, and if you've got any amendments, let us know.
Make a motion we approve the minutes.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, none opposed. Also, I need to add an item to the agenda. I've got a walk-on resolution. This is authorizing the submission of a United States Economic Development Administration EDA grant application. This is the item that Lee Lawson reviewed with us in the work session, and this is a $3,125,000 grant, 2.5 of which would be grant funds, and it requires a city match of 20% or $625,000, which we have also applied for funding for that, the 625 portion from Jerry Carl's office, and we are one of 10 finalists, so we know that we're at least in the running for that. But this is normally a 50-50 grant. We have an opportunity for it to be 80-20 right now, so need to go ahead and have this added to the agenda. If I could get a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. This will be added as agenda item number 23, actually. All right. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. None opposed. Motion is added. And next, we'll go with the report of the mayor.
Thank you. First thing I want to do is say happy birthday to Councilman Conyers.
Appreciate that.
Yes, happy birthday. I hate you have to spend it here with us, but we're thankful you're here.
I'm glad to be with y'all.
So the other thing I just wanted to do was also thank Hunter and Eric and the police chief and Kim for their work on the bill that we discussed at the work session, SB 107 or Act 297. And Chris Williams, they just, everybody's busy, and we've had to spend some extra time just reviewing this and making sure that we, that we know what we have to do from city staff point for this law to go into effect. So thank you for their hard work. I appreciate that. And also to the Fairhope Environmental Advisory Board for being here to help us with the Triangle property. We did have our comp plan kickoff meeting this week. That's a restore project that everybody's going to start seeing information on. We will be starting those public meetings in September for community engagement, so people will start seeing more information about that in the coming months. We also have 2 employees this week who are retiring, long-term employees, James Keith in the gas department and Paul Merchant, who has been responsible for our flowers for the past several years. So he is retiring, and Jamie Rollins has been promoted to take his spot. So we wish James and Paul, good luck in their future and in retirement. Hope they enjoy it, and certainly hate to see them go, but no, this is what we, everybody goes to work for us, so one day they can retire and enjoy life. So congratulations to them. The other thing I want to mention is we have a gas department employee, Sid Gross, who passed 6 major welding qualifications this week. Terry Holman wanted to make sure that he was recognized, and Terry's not here tonight. So congratulations to Sid. Great work. And that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate your report. This time we'll have public participation. This is for agenda items only. And since we've got the first 4 items are public hearings, this will actually cover items 9 through 24. So if you've got, which 24 is the item we just added. So if you've got anything from the public to speak about items 9 through 24, this is your opportunity to come forward and address the council. Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the floor. Move on to council comments. Councilmember Martin.
No comments.
No comments. Councilman Robinson.
Just brief reminder, the last Glow in the Park movie for the summer is August 5th, and it will be live action Aladdin, and it will be at 8 p.m. at Fairhope Community Park. That's all I got.
All right. Councilman Boone.
I've got nothing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. First item up is a public hearing. This is a resolution for approving the issuance of bonds to finance improvements and additions for the infirmary health system. With this being a resolution, I don't know if anyone needs to introduce it, so we'll just open the floor for public hearing. And is anyone from infirmary here to speak on the matter? Okay. All right. Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the floor on that. Next item, number 6, is also a public hearing. This is,
You need to take a vote on that.
oh yeah, thank you.
Motion and second.
Yep. Do I have a motion on approving the resolution for infirmary health system?
So moved.
All right, got a motion, or do we have a second?
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, none opposed, motion passes. Next item, this is going to be Hunter coming up to address this, but this is an ordinance to amend zoning, ordinance number 1253, Article 5, Section B3 of the Central Business District overlay. Uses and short-term rentals shall be allowed within the CBD regardless of the underlying zoning district lots. So this time, if someone would like to, Hunter, go ahead and present, and then we'll introduce it.
Thank you, Councilman. This is a quick amendment to the zoning ordinance. We received a couple of applications in the CBD, on the periphery of the CBD, from B4 to B2. We didn't recommend those zoning requests, but we asked the applicant what the intent was, and when the short-term rental ordinance was adopted, they did not include B4. So every zoning district we had was either it was yay, it's possible, or nay, it's not, and B4 was not included, and even residential in the CBD was allowed. So the only properties that were excluded from that were B4. So what we want to do here, instead of reaching out all over the city and look at every B4 property, it was we looked at it and recommended that anything in the CBD should be allowed for short-term rental, including some of those properties on the periphery. So it's a very simple amendment, and it was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission unanimously.
All right, thank you, sir. At this time, would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
I'll introduce it.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Ordinance has been introduced. Is anyone here in the public wish to speak to this? Council members, do y'all have any questions for Hunter?
No.
All right, no questions. We'll just let this lay over. Thank you, sir. You are up again with another public hearing. This is, let's see, zoning, again, amending zoning ordinance, Article 5, Section B, Central Business District F, a minimum of 50% of the gross floor on the ground floor of a building in the CBD shall be dedicated to commercial uses. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. This is not new. I've been here before talking about this, and all we've done, and I think the council brought up some good concerns. The intent of what we were doing was for mixed-use buildings in the CBD, not single-family, which is also allowed. So we just added that clarification, re-advertising it, and are back in front of you with that. Mixed use is the only thing that was added here right before building in the second sentence. I won't do that because the last part of this is how to calculate that square footage. This was also voted unanimously by the Planning Commission to recommend approval. Back in front of you here today.
All right, and I could just say, having being the council rep on the Planning Commission, the main intent of this has been to preserve that downtown CBD. Right now, residential construction is very lucrative and very popular, but if we allow the CBD to be completely built out with residential units, it would actually ultimately squeeze out the businesses, which is ironically why people want to be downtown. So this is just an attempt to maintain the integrity of the CBD. If someone would like to introduce the ordinance,
I'll
I
introduce
have a
it.
question.
fire away.
Is there any particular reason, it used to be the bottom floor was commercial, upper floor was residential.
Right.
Is there any particular reason we've gone from 100% ground floor to 50% ground floor?
The problems we've seen are on projects that want to squeeze too many residential units on a lot. And to do that, we require parking for each residential unit. So when you do that, the ground floor becomes a parking deck, and there's nothing left over for the commercial space. So we do acknowledge this is a quick step. I hope we can get a better plan to address this in the comp plan, but we at least want to ensure that some portion of the ground floor is commercial, and we retain that street frontage that makes Fairhope what it is.
To address the question I think Kevin was asking, right now, there's not a 100% requirement that 100% of the ground floor be commercial.
No, we have a recommendation.
I don't think there ever was a requirement, it's just kind of a
Standard use.
We have a
People use.
recommendation that you have commercial on the ground floor or retail on the ground floor and office on the upper floors
Right.
and what residential is available. And we have, ironically enough, the best description of mixed use and what it is in the medical overlay district. So it kind of reads a little differently as to what is allowed there. But in the CBD, this will hopefully help clarify that.
I'll introduce it.
All right. Councilman Martin has introduced it. Anyone in the public here to speak on this issue? All right, seeing no one, we'll just let this lay over for further consideration. Let's see, next item. Again, Hunter, again, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance 1253. And this is a request to rezone the property of the Fairhope Single Tax Corporation and MPM Investments, LLC, from residential agricultural district to B4 business and professional district. And this property is generally located on the west side of Highway 181, approximately 200 feet north of Windmill Road in Fairhope, and PIN number 14533. Hunter, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So, in general, I think what we're seeing on Highway 181 is something that the city's dealt with on Highway 98 for quite some time. We have residential properties that don't really have a home. We have agriculture here next to an intersection that is, the property as you see on the right is the aerial photo, kind of the L shape, and on the left you see our zoning map. So in green is agricultural, and the two pink areas at that intersection are business. The request here is to zone this property to B4, which is a little less intense than B2 zone, commercial zoning. We really see no problem with this, looking at the comp plan, what is allowed, what is desired in this area. This is business and professional. This is not your fast food restaurants, drive-throughs, things like that. And again, I'm going to be quick here. This is a pretty standard request that I think doesn't warrant a ton of discussion, but I'll be happy to flip back through these if we need to. We do support a village concept, so the nearest core here is Fairhope Avenue and 181. You know, we wouldn't support B2 in this area for those fast food restaurants and larger commercial districts, but a B4 is suiting to this site. We did have a little bit of concern with the setbacks on a lot shaped like this, because there's, in essence, two frontages. You have the Highway 181, which is leaning more commercial, and then you have the Windmill Road, which is adjacent to a denser residential development. The applicant we looked at the setbacks, what they would be required, and we actually proposed an alternative. So the setbacks will match on each frontage with what is adjacent around the adjacent properties. That will be platted, and the applicant is okay with that. So it will at least address what is surrounding. like I said, where there were no impacts on adjacent properties, we worked with applicant to buffer against the adjacent residential, that is kind of their common area in detention. This went to our planning commission, and they recommended approval unanimously, which, as you know, that's a recommendation. City council has the final vote. There was one condition that staff recommended. The planning commission supported it, and that was the submission of an administrative replat to record the setbacks as proposed by staff. That will get recorded at probate, so any potential future owner or even the existing owner knows what those setbacks are, since they will be different from our zoning ordinance. But
Okay.
if you have
Thank you,
any
sir.
questions or looking at any of those other slides, I'll be happy to flip back.
Would someone like to introduce this ordinance?
I'll introduce it.
All right, Councilman Robinson, thank you. Any questions for Hunter? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this zoning amendment? No? Okay. Then we'll go ahead and close the floor and let this lay over as well until next meeting. Thank you, sir. Item number 9 is a resolution that the City Council approves the selection of Goodwin Mills and Kaywood to perform professional engineering services for the rehab of Lakewood Lift Station and Force Main for the Water and Sewer Department, RFQ number PS 033-21, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to negotiate a fee schedule and establish a not-to-exceed limit with this firm. And I believe Mayor and Jason indicated this would be paid for from the American Rescue Plan. Any questions, council members? No questions? I'll entertain a motion at this time.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. None opposed. Resolution passes. Next item, number 10, is a resolution that the Fairhope City Council approves the selection of the ICC Internal Code Council to perform construction plan review of the proposed reserve at the Fairhope Senior Care Facility for the building department, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute a contract not to exceed $24,729.59. This is for Volanta and Greeno Road project, and as Eric said, this is essentially equates to being a pass-through cost. So, does anyone have any questions for Eric? None? All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Got a
Second.
motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. None opposed. Motion carries. Number 11, we've got a resolution that the City of Fairhope reject bid number 20-21 for Arts Alley Downtown Transit Hub for the Public Works Department at the request of staff, along with our project architect of record, through consultation with the ESMPO, the county, FTA personnel, due to funders being uncomfortable with one bidder and perceived irregularities in prices, and authorizes staff to rebid. Again, Richard indicated they had 8 show up for pre-bid, only had 1 bid, and the grant source has asked that we reject that 1 bid and put it out for rebid. So I think that was pretty well covered, but if anyone has any questions for Richard, we'll let them know, and if not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Got a
Second.
motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. Let's see, resolution, item number 12 is a resolution to authorize the use of the excess levelization rider funds retained by the Alabama Municipal Electric Authority to support the installation of an advanced utility metering infrastructure system as follows: that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to use the city's excess levelization rider funds currently retained by AMEA, and subsequent amounts to be credited to the city by AMEA to pay for the cost of improvements, and the council agrees the excess levelization rider funds be available to the city, be applied towards payment of costs for the improvement. And this is to install, I guess, the meters that will be able to be read remotely. So Mayor covered that, I think, in the agenda meeting. So if you got any questions, please ask. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 13, this is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a software as service and spectrum lease agreement between the City of Fairhope and Census USA, Inc., to be used in connection with AMEA's Advanced Utility Metering Infrastructure System, subject to city attorney's approval. And this is basically authorizing the software needed to correspond with the use of that metering system we just approved in the prior resolution. So,
So moved.
got a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Let's see, item number 14 is a resolution that the city council supports the concept of a Baldwin Council Recycling Cooperative, authorizes city staff to work with the Baldwin County and our sister communities to conduct a feasibility study, develop a business plan for an effective and productive countywide recycling cooperative. Commits and acknowledges that the service be to provide Baldwin County Solid Waste Department will be an operating expense to be funded by a published tipping fee not to exceed the disposal rate of household garbage. However, market fluctuations and conditions will need to be evaluated and recognized on an ongoing basis to determine the level of service that MRF can support, and will report back on its findings for possible future legislative action. And I know Richard and Corey had some conversation about this during the agenda hearing, and this is basically supporting Baldwin County to set up our own MRF, and I think it would be a 2 to 3 year out project, but I think this is certainly something we would want to pursue. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion, or if you've got any questions for Richard or the mayor.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. Motion passes. Item number 15 is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with SE Civil LLC to perform professional on-call engineering services for the Water and Sewer Department for a 3-year contract with a not-to-exceed amount of $30,000 per year. And this is just a budgeted on-call review of plans. We've had this in place before, so if anyone's got any questions for Jason or for the mayor, please ask. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions? I guess none. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 16 is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Krebs Architecture and Engineering to perform professional engineering and design services for treatment plant number 3 and well number 3-11 for the Water and Sewer Department with a not-to-exceed amount of $440,000. Again, this $440,000 is for the engineering. This third well located at on the 5 acres at County Road 33 would get us up to about a 4 million gallon capacity in that location. So I know Jason has, I believe he's taken all of us by this at this point. So
Yeah.
everybody's had a chance to see this, and I appreciate again Jason taking us around to show us this proposal. And if anyone's got any questions for him at this time, for Jason or the mayor regarding this contract, but I know he said he's worked extensively with Krebs in the past and was very comfortable with them. So if nobody's got any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item number 17 is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Stewart Engineering to perform professional engineering services for electrical transmission and distribution study for the electric department with a not-to-exceed amount of $100,000. And this is a distribution study. We've had the capacity study, I believe, and this is sort of the next step. If anyone's got any questions, they can ask Jeremy, but he already covered this during the work session.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item number 18 is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Jade Consulting LLC for boundary survey at Triangle Property, and that's both parcels, both the north and the south parcel of the 107.6 acres with a not-to-exceed amount of $16,100. And this is the first step towards doing something with the Triangle property. So I think we covered this pretty well in the work session. If anyone's got any additional questions, please ask now. Otherwise,
So moved.
got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Item number 19 is a resolution that the City Council approves the selection of Kavanaugh McDonald Consulting to perform professional consulting services to prepare actuarial valuation for the city's OPEB liability for the fiscal year ending 9/30/21, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute a contract with a not-to-exceed amount of $10,000. I don't know that we got a chance to cover this, but this is just standard.
Benefits.
We have this every year, right?
For retirement.
Okay, that's right. Kim, did
Benefits
you
for
have?
retirement.
This is required part of our audit, and it's an actuarial firm that goes and calculates based on your retirees, future retirees, what that cost will be for the city, and that has to be put in our audit. So, and the cost is based on the number of retirees, number of employees, the data that they look at.
Yeah.
So, in the past, it's been running about $9,300. So that's the reason we have around $10,000, and $10,000 is in our budget.
And do we get this annually updated?
Yes.
Okay.
So every 2 years is this is a full year. Last year, it was 2,500. It was a partial year. So
Gotcha.
they review it, 1 year, and then they do a full evaluation the next year, so.
So every other year, it's around 10,000, and the alternating years, it's a good bit less, but gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, at this time, does anybody have any questions for Kim? No? All right, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the resolution? Please say
Aye.
aye. All right, none opposed, the resolution passes. Item number 20 is a resolution to award RFQ 13-21 to Amerson Roofing for their additive alternate quote of the Classis Rib metal roof of Galvalume or equivalent in the amount of $16,993 is now awarded RFQ 13-21 for North Beach Pavilion repair and replacement of asphalt shingle roof. FEMA 4563 damaged by Hurricane Sally for the Public Works Department. And Richard covered in the agenda meeting that basically they were in favor of doing the upgrade to have this a metal roof rather than the asphalt. So,
Yeah. And that's FEMA, right? It's paid for.
yep.
Yep.
All right. So if there's no additional questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes. Resolution, item number 21 is a resolution that the City of Fairhope has voted to procure a 2022 Freightliner M2 with a brush hog loader for the Public Works Department, and the equipment is available for direct procurement through Sourcewell contract with National Auto Fleet and has been nationally bid and therefore does not have to be let out for bid. Estimated cost of $172,442. Richard covered this in pretty good detail in the work session, and basically we would go ahead and acquire this now. We've got another one set for delivery later in the year, and we would scrap the one that would be budgeted for 2022 as we would go ahead and acquire this one at this time. So sounded like we're fortunate to have the opportunity to find this ready to go. So if no one has any questions for Richard, I'll entertain a motion. Yes,
I was
sir.
confused. Are we buying this outright or leasing it?
Buying it.
Purchasing outright. We're going to purchase it outright this round.
They proposed a lease,
I like
but
that a lot better.
yeah, the lease was only going to have 70% of the payments applied to
Yeah.
the principal, and they came back and said, well, why don't we just buy it? So good move. But at this time, I'll entertain a motion on this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, council. Item 22 is a resolution that the city of Fairhope has voted to purchase a 2021 Ford F-550 crew cab 4x4 truck and service body for the electrical department, and the type of vehicle is needed by the Alabama State Department of Purchasing bid list, and therefore does not have to let out for bid with an estimated cost of $58,284. Jeremy mentioned during the agenda meeting that what was in the budget, this is over budget, but what was in the budget did not include the bed. They've got an opportunity to buy this one. Bed's already outfitted. It's still probably a couple thousand overpriced, but not as much overpriced as what was being reflected in the budget. So if no one has a question for Jeremy, I entertain a motion.
Just a general, rather not buy Jeremy anything, but I guess if we need it, then this looks like a pretty good deal. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Begrudgingly, were you going to put an
Begrudgingly,
asterisk on there?
yes.
Okay. I didn't have a problem getting you a truck, Jeremy.
With a bed.
With a bed, yeah. Item number 23 is a resolution that the city of Fairhope approves the procurement of 9mm ammunition budgeted for fiscal year 2022 for the police department with a cost of $15,000 from Gulf States distributors through the Alabama State contract. Currently, there's an 8 to 10 month waiting period on ammunition. Therefore, ordering the ammunition now will ensure that we receive it within the next budget year. That's pretty self-explanatory. I know Chief wasn't in here during the work session, but I don't think there's anything else to really add to that.
Except I think we're getting lucky. Bullets are hard to come by these days, so.
Can't find them at Bass Pro Shops.
No, you cannot. I'm sorry.
All right, at this time I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion passes. Item number 24, this is the add-on from
EDA.
the EDA grant. So I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, read this entire one since we're adding it, so y'all bear with me. Okay, this is authorizing the submission of a United States Economic Development Administrative EDA grant application. Whereas the United States Economic Development Administration, EDA, provides grants to municipal governments for projects that generate new employment and has made funds available through their Disaster Assistance Grant Program. And whereas the city, in cooperation with the Baldwin, it should be Baldwin County Economic, or Baldwin Community and Economic Development Foundation, has identified an opportunity to provide new jobs in Fairhope by renovating the existing K1 Center building at 100 South Church Street to provide a business resource hub for technology-based entrepreneurs in Baldwin County, which is Hatch in Fairhope. And whereas preliminary cost estimate shows the proposed cost estimate for construction of this project will be $3,125,000, whereas the grant funds will pay for 80% of the total project cost, $2.5 million, and if the grant is funded, the city will be responsible for contributing 20% or $625,000 required in cash matching funds. And whereas if the grant is funded, the city of Fairhope will provide the long-term operation and maintenance of the new facility. Now therefore be it resolved, the city of Fairhope authorizes submission of a grant application to U.S. Economic Development Administration requesting $2.5 million in fiscal year 2021 investing in America's communities economic adjustment assistance. Again, we mentioned the mayor has already got us in the final list to have the 20% match portion funded by Jerry Carl, and this would normally have been a 50-50 grant match, but because of the aftermath, I guess, of COVID, this is actually an 80-20. So as Lee Lawson said earlier, the time to apply for this is now. It's a first come, first serve, somewhat. I mean, there's still an approval process, and so there's certainly no guarantee that we'll have our project approved, but the earlier we can get in line, the better opportunity we have. So indication is we would be able to submit this within the next week to 10 days if approved, and I appreciate council walking this on the agenda. We definitely want to do everything in our power to get this in the front of the line. So does anyone have any questions? I think Lee's gone, but for the mayor or anyone else who may be working on this?
No, I think it's
All
time to
right,
keep
I'll
it.
entertain a motion then at this time.
I'll make a motion. I think it's time for this to get done. I'll make a motion for this 80/20 with the city
All
for
right.
EDA.
Got a motion from Councilman Martin.
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And at this time, we've got public participation about anything you want to bring before the council. So we'll open the floor. You've got up to 3 minutes to discuss or to talk.
I don't think we had anybody from the public here tonight.
All right, since no one's coming forward, we'll go ahead and close public participation. And I do have this from our legal counsel to read. As City Attorney Marcus E. McDowell, I hereby request that the Fairhope City Council go into executive session based on Section 36-25A-7A3 to discuss pending litigation and possible settlement options regarding said pending litigation. City Attorney McDowell does hereby declare that the City Council of the City of Fairhope rise from regular council meeting on Monday, July 26, 2021, to go into executive session. Council shall be in executive session for approximately, what do y'all think, 30, 45 minutes?
That's sufficient, right?
30 minutes. 30 minutes, all right. And at the end of executive session, the council shall return and resume regular city council meeting. The time right now is 6:40, and do we anticipate taking any action? No? Okay. All right, so if you're sticking around, don't necessarily feel like you have to. Does not sound like we'll be taking action. All right.
You need a motion
do I have
and a
a
second.
motion? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Yay.
All right, motion passes.